So suspension system is very important system in any automobile. So can anyone tell me why suspension system is required in automobile? Yes,
To absorb the shocks.
to observe the shocks. That's all. Any other specific reason or specific term that an engineer should tell? No? Is this screen visible to you? Whether this screen is visible to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So this suspension particularly, which is used in any automobile, it is one of the term which is given to the system of springs. Whatever number of springs are there or type of springs are there, as well as shock absorbers and the linkages, different linkages, various linkages are there, which connects particular vehicle to its wheels. So this is the term which is consisting of different types of springs, shock absorbers, and various linkages. Because directly without suspension, you cannot mount the chassis on wheels. In between that particular, this suspension system, which is used to absorb the road shocks, to give cushioning effect, and to give stability to the vehicle, the suspension system is being used. Because it's not necessary that a vehicle will run on every time on even surface or a good condition road. Sometimes the chances are there that the uneven rough surface will be there, various hurdles will be there, and because of this, the particular persons or the occupants will not feel a comfortable ride. So to give them a comfortable ride, give them a perfect stability, this suspension system or suspensions are used. To separate the passengers, if a passenger carrying vehicle is there, then to separate the passengers or the other vehicle components from this uneven surface condition, uneven road surface condition, or the irregularities, the vehicle chassis is not directly mounted on the axles. In between that, there must be a suspension system, spring bar suspension system, and it is mounted between the passenger compartment because passenger must get a comfortable ride. So it is mounted between the passenger compartment and axle to separate or to isolate the chassis from the axle. Okay, so Now this is one layout of suspension system of one automobile. Now in this particular layout, you can see in the previous lectures, we have studied the steering system. So steering column, steering wheel, then particularly at this particular end, steering gear is there most of the time, as we have discussed in previous sessions. A rack and pinion mechanism, rack and pinion is used. Then tie rod, knuckle arm, all those things are there. And see over here, this particularly the suspension system. Now here is McPherson strut. McPherson strut type of suspension system is shown. We'll study one by one the different types of suspension system depending on the type of a vehicle, the particular application of the vehicle. Different types of suspension systems are used. Okay, here McPherson strut is the independent type of suspension system that we'll study very soon. This lecture or next lecture also. Here also you can see on the rear side, whatever rear axle is there, front axle and rear axle. Here also suspension is there. Cross members are there. So on axle particularly, this is installed or mounted, and through that the chassis is mounted. Okay, so this is the layout of this particular suspension system. Now the condition is that if the vehicle runs on even surface or regular road surface or perfectly flat surface with no irregularities or with no obstacles, suspensions would not have been necessary. But roads are not always flat. According to the Newton's law of motion, as you have studied various Newton's laws of motion, all forces have magnitude as well as direction. So the forces that occur possess particularly magnitude as well as directions. As you might have experienced, whenever bump occurs in the road, when you sit in a vehicle, when you take a ride in a vehicle, and when a bump occurs in the road, what happens? It causes the wheel of that automobile to move up and down perpendicular to the road surface. So because of this bump, because of this uneven road condition, the wheel moves up and down, which is perpendicular to the road surface. Now, whatever magnitude is there, that depends on the particular size and location of that bump. Whether the wheel which is passing through that bump, whether that bump is a bigger one or a very small spot, depending upon the size of that bump or the size of that particular hurdle or obstacle, the particular magnitude will be there. In any of the sense or any of the way, the wheel of that automobile experiences of vertical acceleration whenever it passes over that irregular surface or imperfection or any bump. So vertical acceleration is there, magnitude will be there, varying depending upon the size of that bomb. Now see, uh, this is the road surface over here. This I have got from this How Stuff Works. You can see, you can check this website, How Stuff Works. There you can find various interesting topics that are covered with the help of PDF, with the help of some animations also. So our normal V light is shown in this first case. This is the road surface. Now this is even road surface, but whenever this type of bomb or whenever a spray breaker is there, see the vertical moment, the moment of this particular wheel will be there. So here a dotted line is shown and here a even road surface is there. So this wheel is traveling in between these two particular area, this height, normal height and road surface. But whenever a bump occurs, this wheel jumps vertically up. Then in horizontal direction. So afterwards, when it comes downward, see here horizontal acceleration is shown. Whenever it occurs, whenever it crosses this bump, the vertical acceleration will be there. Okay. Now, why this suspension system is incorporated? See, this suspension system is installed or incorporated to give safety to the passengers. Means the persons or the occupants when travel through a vehicle because of uneven road condition, because of imperfections, because of irregularities, the road shocks it produce and those shocks get transmitted to the occupants, to the persons who occupy the space inside that automobile. So to give safety, to give protection, and to provide a very comfortable, smooth ride, the suspension system is being installed. The next objective is that to avoid or to prevent the shocks, road shocks, from being transmitted to the frame, vehicle frame and other components. See, if the particular road shocks are not transmitted properly to the vehicle frame, then chances of breaking of frame will be there. So damage will be there, and if frame gets damaged, the chances of failure of design will be there, accident chances will be there. So the road shocks which occur during the ride on uneven or irregular surface, those are being transmitted to the vehicle frame are minimized or prevented. Then the suspension system maintains stability of the vehicle. Whenever a vehicle moves on the road, stability of vehicle is must. It must be stable, and it is possible by minimizing the two particular moments. One is rolling moment and another is pitching moment. With the help of sketches, we'll see in next slide what is pitching and what is rolling. One more objective is there that it supports the vehicle weight. Whatever vehicle weight is there, for different vehicle, a different weight is there. So it supports the vehicle weight also. Now this particular three terms are there: bouncing, rolling, and pitching. Now this particular bouncing, bounce back. This word you are familiar, I hope so. So what happens in bouncing, or how will you define this bouncing phenomenon, or this term bouncing? So when a vehicle moves on a road, even road surface, and it's all of a sudden, if it comes across a bump, bump, a speed breaker, or a pit, or depressed land, or a lower side land, or lower side road, then it is subjected to the vertical forces. Different types of forces are there, depending upon the road irregularity, whatever road irregularity is there. So depending on that, either tensile force will be there or compressive force will be there. And because of this, vehicle starts vibrating. You might have experienced this type of thing whenever vehicle passes through the speed breaker, particularly breaker, where patches are there, and when the driver moves that particular automobile or vehicle without lowering the speed, without lowering the particular speed, if the driver tries to move, tries to run his vehicle as usually, as usual with normal speed, then you might have experienced, you may experience these vibrations in the automobile. This particular tendency is known as bouncing. See, this is the sketch for this bouncing when the vehicle, particularly this automobile, when moves in this direction on even road surface, it's okay. But if a bump comes, then see here dotted lines are shown, or the sketch is shown with the help of dots. So here vibrations will be there, and for that particular certain moment of time, for that certain period of time, the vehicle starts vibrating, and this is experienced by the particular occupants in that vehicle. Okay, so bouncing. Now second is rolling. Now rolling term is related with the vehicle whenever vehicle takes a turn, either on left side or on right side. When a vehicle takes a turn, the centrifugal force acts outwards on the center of gravity of vehicle. So this centrifugal force, you might have studied the definition of centrifugal force. Two forces are there, centrifugal as well as centripetal. So over here, the centrifugal force acts outwards on the center of gravity of the vehicle, and at the same time, the road resistance acts inward. Two things are happening simultaneously. One is the centrifugal force is acting outwards when a vehicle is taking turns, when a vehicle takes a turn, whereas the other thing, the road resistance acts inwards at the wheels. What happens because of these two particular movements? This results in a couple. This results in a couple turning the vehicle about a longitudinal axis, and this is known as rolling. See over here, when a vehicle is trying to take a turn on left side here, as it is shown, uh, that it is turning on this side, so right side. So particularly what is happening, centrifugal force as well as road resistance are coming in action, and because of these two particular things, a couple is getting produced, and this couple gets produced about the longitudinal axis, that is known as rolling. Now pitching. In pitching this particular vehicle or carriage, the vehicle carrying the passenger or carrying the goods, that is known as carriage. So in pitching phenomenon, this particular automobile rolls about a transverse axis. In earlier case, it was a longitudinal axis. Now it's a transverse axis, means along the width of the vehicle. So this is pitching. So moment here that rolling is taking place, automobile rolling is taking place, but about a transverse axis, that is along the width of the vehicle. Whatever width of the vehicle is there, according to that, this rolling will be there. So these three terms you have to remember, because again in interviews, in Vivas somewhere or mechanical engineering, you will come across these three terms. What is rolling, what is bouncing, what is pitching. So at that time you should be able to draw these sketches and easily you can explain what is exactly happening in these three particular phenomena. Okay, so these are the elements of suspension system. Few more are there, like sprung and unsprung weight. This definition also you will have to remember, sprung and unsprung weight. So the total weight of the vehicle, complete weight of the vehicle consists of sprung weight and unsprung weight. The sprung weight, see, the sprung weight is the weight supported by the spring. So whatever weight is there on upper side of the spring, that is known as sprung weight. And the unsprung weight is the part or the weight that is not supported by the springs. So what it includes: the weight of the drive axle, then axle shafts, wheels and tires. Unsprung weight consists of axle, axle shafts, wheels and tires, because all those things are on the lower side of the springs or on the lower side of the suspension. So that is unsprung weight. And this unsprung weight is kept as low as possible. Why? Because the roughness of ride increases as this unsprung weight increases. So we have to keep this unsprung weight as minimum as possible. Now, few more terms are there associated with this suspension. That is brake, dip, and squat. So this particular phenomena, this particular process, everybody has experience whenever you travel through any of the automobile. See what exactly happens when brakes are applied. The vehicle nose, particularly the front portion of the vehicle, lowers down or dip. That is known as lowering down or dipping or dip. So why this is happening? Because when vehicle moves in a straight direction forward, according to the Newton's law, so what happens? This particular, as you know, every action has equal and opposite reaction. So on the basis of this, when brakes are applied, vehicle nose lowers down or dip. And why this happens or why this type of thing occurs? This is because of the weight transfer. Whatever weight is there for that automobile, for automobile as well as occupants, so that weight transfer takes place towards front side, and because of that the vehicle nose lowers down or dip. Okay, so this happens only when brakes are applied. When vehicle moves steadily on road surface, this will not happen. Similarly, torque loads during the acceleration. Whenever we accelerate, whenever we increase the speed, at that time the tendency is there to lift the vehicle front. You might have experienced. So from the particular particular particularly uh, when the vehicle is in neutral position and when you try to shift the gear from neutral to first to second on where the torque gets increased. So during acceleration, the vehicle gets lifted from the front. Just like what you call as abrupt type of driving experience you will feel during this particular moment, and this effect particularly is known as squat. So from particular speed to increased speed, whenever the vehicle accelerates, it lifts the front of the vehicle or vehicle front, that is known as a squat. Then side thrust, again, word itself is side force or side thrust. This is caused due to the centrifugal force during cornering, crosswinds, or road camber. So, because of road angle, you might have studied in 11th or 12th physics. An angle is provided on road. What is the name of that angle? Anybody remembers? One particular angle is there. Yes? Angle of banking. Is it correct? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So if angle of banking is not provided, then definitely there will be more chances for the skidding of vehicle. So even on the roads which are there in Aurangabad, particularly right now, constructed with the help of cement, you can check that angle of banking is provided everywhere. So the side thrust, it is caused due to the centrifugal force whenever a cornering is there, cross winds are there, or road angle, road camber is there. Particularly side thrust will be there in case of leaf springs, which are being particularly used in heavy vehicle, and these are observed by the rigidity, because this leaf spring will be more rigid, they are more rigid, more tough. So those are observed by the construction of leaf springs in most of the heavy vehicles. You will find the leaf springs are provided. Then the ride and handling name itself will give you the particular idea. Ride refers to a comfortable drive, smooth and comfortable drive on any kind of road, while handling refers to the safe acceleration during corners, during turn, or whenever brakes are applied. So all these are associated with the suspension. Now we'll just focus on this particular one sketch. Have you seen this type of construction in suspension system anywhere? Anybody? Anyone? Hello? No one is there?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen this type of suspension system in any of the automobile?
In heavy loaded
Yes,
trucks.
sir.
Okay, heavy loaded vehicle like trucks, containers, buses also. This leaf spring, this is known as a leaf spring or conventional suspension system. In this particular construction, frame side member, the particular this heavy vehicle, this is a side member, okay, and to this side member, with the help of this particular element, that is shackle, this leaf spring assembly, a set of leaf springs are attached. Now in this particular sketch, you can see one master leaf is there. Okay, this is the master leaf. This is the master leaf, and to this master leaf, the leaf, other leaves we see are placed very close to each other. Now this is in semi-elliptical form. Okay, this is in elliptical form or semicircular form. Whenever the vehicle experiences a bump or particularly pit in the road surface, then what happens? This tries to become straight or flat. This tends to become straight or flat, and these absorbs, this particularly absorbs the road shocks which come from the road surface. So this absorb the road shocks and prevent to go the road shocks or to move the road shocks toward the particular area where the load is kept. Okay, so this is particularly leaf spring. Light vehicle in Maruti Omni, you might have seen this type of leaf springs are used in one of the Jeep which is kept outside the museum, mechanical engineering museum. In that also you can see the leaf springs are being used. Earlier days this were used. Now the particular improvement in the suspension system is there. That's why these are used in particularly medium and heavy vehicles, transport vehicles only. Main components or main parts of these springs are the clamps, shackle, U-bolt, and leaves, as you have seen in this particular diagram. Shackle is clamp or strap, then master leaf, U-bolt. Now come to the independent suspension. Name itself is independent. So what is the significance of this word independent? What is the significance of independent? Can anyone tell? Yes. Name itself is independent means whatever suspension is being provided on all the road wheels, those are connected to the frame because this suspension is connected, attached to the frame. So whenever rise and fall will be there, so it will not have any effect on other. So each will have its own importance. Each one will act independently. Whatever suspension is there. So rigid suspension is totally different. Independent suspension is totally different. In rigid suspension, if any bump or if any kind of obstacle comes, then other suspension or other wheel will also get affected. But in case of independent, it will not be like that. Only that wheel will experience the particular obstacle or uneven road surface or any kind of pit. Now, in automobiles, most of the time we will find this wishbone type of suspension is used. The structure of this wishbone. All these particular systems are available in our lab, in museum. So whenever you will be there in college, hopefully after Diwali, at that time I will show you this wishbone, MacPherson strut, leaf spring, and all those things. So today just we will see The names now of these various types of suspension earlier was the leaf spring. This is a wishbone type of suspension. Now, in this wishbone type of suspension, you can see two wishbones are there. One is upper wishbone, another is lower wishbone. And in between these two wishbone, a spring is also there. Okay, spring is also provided. It's not like that without spring, the shocks will be absorbed. Always spring is the prime element or the principal element to absorb the shock. See, shock absorber here it is there and spring from outside. So whatever forces, road resistance, whatever is coming, so both are experiencing those things. So road shock absorber and spring both must be in working condition to absorb the shocks, to absorb the particular uneven surface, whatever shocks are getting produced. So this is the actual photograph of this wishbone system. See, as mentioned in earlier sketch, upper wishbone is there, lower wishbone is there. Then spring is provided along with the shock absorber. This particular upper and lower wishbone arm are pivoted to the cross member, and whatever vehicle weight is there that is transferred from the frame, main element frame, then to the cross member, then to the coil spring, and then to the lower wishbone. What exactly this particular wishbone type of system, independent suspension system, uh, does? It resists up and down forces which are getting developed after hurdle, after a bump, after acceleration, or when brakes are applied, as well as when a turn is to be taken. So all those things are registered up by this particular wishbone type of suspension system. Now this is one more which is commonly used nowadays. You can see on most of the vehicle you will find this McPherson strut assembly or McPherson strut suspension. Diagram is very simple to remember. C like frame is over here, and spring as well as shock absorber as I've told. Spring and shock absorber both should be in particularly working state, working condition to absorb the shocks that are getting produced on the road surface. Then one element is there, strut. In this particular strut, it contains the shock absorber and it is in connection with this C frame, and one wishbone is also there. So on one side, a strut is there which contains a shock absorber. This particularly this strut is connected to the stub axle and the wheel. Okay. Then a lower wishbone arm is there, which is attached or hinged to the cross member of the frame. Whatever load is there that is transferred from the body member to the strut, to the stub axle and lower wishbone arm. If we check this system with the double wishbone system, it is quite simple in construction, and the important reason or the main reason to prefer this particular McPherson strut is that it reduces the unsprung weight. In previous slide, we have seen what is meant by sprung weight and what is meant by unsprung weight. So to keep unsprung weight on lower side, this particular McPherson strut assembly helps. Again, it provides a maximum space in the engine compartment, as well as it is mostly preferred for all front wheel drive cars. So simple sketch is there, MacPherson strut. In any one of the lecture, I will show you the actual video also of this leaf spring as well as double wishbone and MacPherson strut suspension. Okay, so we'll stop now. MacPherson strut structure, that's fine. We'll continue with this trailing link, then air suspension and other type of system in next lecture.